women. Having been empowered in 1962, women in the Bahamas have consistently outnumbered their male counterparts in exercising their right to vote. As part of the 50th anniversary of this celebration, leading women of the suffrage movement and trailblazers in politics were featured on the covers of the nation's 2012 telephone directories. The celebrations also included the premiere showing of an acclaimed documentary by a local poet, writer, and attorney. This commemoration sparked a renewed resolve in my government to take the necessary steps to remove all forms of discrimination against women in the Bahamas Constitution through due process by the end of this year. Madam Chair, in fulfillment of her commitment to the Beijing Declaration and Platform for Action and to the outcome of the 23rd Special Session of the General Assembly, the Bahamas is currently in the final stages of reviewing a draft national gender policy. I extend thanks to the Regional Office of UNFPA and to the national public and private stakeholders for their invaluable assistance with this project. Madam Chair, the Bahamas commends the Commission for the priority theme for this session and also the Secretary General for the report submitted thereon. Violence against women and girls is a global phenomenon. The Bahamas is committed to eliminating this scourge by educating her entire population, in particular young women and girls, on healthy relationships and to the fact that no form of violence perpetrated against them is acceptable. To this end, we are working with local non-governmental organizations, representatives of whom make up a significant number of my delegation to this session. Madam Chair, the Bahamas' socio-economic and political advances over the years are rendered meaningless if we cannot ensure the safety and protection of our women and girls from violence and sexual abuse. The enactment of the Domestic Violence Protection Orders Act of 2007 and the Bahamas Sexual Offenses and Domestic Violence Amendment Act 2008 underscore our commitment to the protection of women and girls and to the elimination of all forms of violence against them. In addition, the draft National 5-Year Strategic Plan for Domestic Violence is currently being reviewed by a team of experts, and we are also in the process of upgrading our Women's Bureau to a department. Further, cognizant of the critical role of men and boys in the prevention of violence against women and girls, the Bureau of Women's Affairs is partnering with the local chapter of Caraman to create a network of men who will become advocates for change in our prevention efforts. Further, with the financial support of the Caribbean Regional Office of UN Women, the Bureau of Women's Affairs will this year implement the UN Women Project on strengthening state accountability and community action for ending gender-based violence in the Caribbean. I extend thanks also to UN Women for its continued support. Madam Chair, in conclusion, we all recognize the world's development and prosperity depends on the development and empowerment of one half of humanity, women. With ongoing debates about the elaboration of the post-2015 development agenda and the establishment of sustainable development goals, it is time now for the international community to implement a development agenda which will drive change and bring about full gender equality and the empowerment of women, thus transforming the lives of women and girls throughout the world. The Bahamas is committed to doing her part. As a part of our local observance of International Women's Day, we will convene a forum on gender-based violence by bringing together women, men, and young people to dialogue and make recommendations in furtherance of ending gender-based violence in our country. Let us renew our commitments made in Beijing almost 20 years ago. A promise is a promise. Now's the time to fulfill the promise and to end the violence. I thank you.